Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of Pinto's Preview here on 740thefan.com and kfgo.com. And last week I didn't get a chance to do a video blog for Pinto's Preview. I put up a quick little snippet for the Young South State game. NDSU ended up winning that game 35-17 to clinch their third straight Missouri Valley Football Conference title. Now this week for the NDSU football team, the University of South Dakota, the Coyotes, well, they come in after a disappointing game last week against South Dakota State, back-to-back disappointing home games. They had one against Montana where they should have won. Montana came back late and beat the University of South Dakota. So now the Yotes come in looking for a little redemption after last year's 54-0 beatdown in Sioux Falls at the hands of the Bison. So without any further ado, let's get to my 3 points. The first point I want to make is Milestone Day. NDSU has two guys that can complete some major milestones in their careers on Saturday. With a win, Brock Jensen becomes the all-time winningest quarterback in FCS history, and head coach Craig Bohl ends up getting his 100th win of his career. Now, I did a little math, and I thought about this. Craig Bohl, 100th win as a head coach at NDSU. He's only been a head coach at NDSU. 48 of his 100 wins, if they win on Saturday against South Dakota, will have came in the last 4 years. 2010, they had 9 wins, back-to-back 14-win seasons in 2011 and 2012, and then this would be the 11th win this year in 2013. So, again, 48 of his 100 victories have come in the last 4 years if they win on Saturday. So a big milestone day victory-wise for the starting quarterback, Brock Jensen, and head coach Craig Bohl. The second point I want to make is the starters and how long they should play in this game. NDSU has already wrapped up the conference title. They've already wrapped up a first-round bye, and they've probably already wrapped up the number 1 or 2 seed depending on what happens on Saturday. To me, you only play the starters a half. You already don't have Grant Olson for the rest of the year. Marcus Williams has a knee issue. I don't know how much he's going to play on Saturday. You don't need anybody else getting hurt that is valuable to this team. So, I don't expect the starters, or I would like to see the starters. I expect them to play most of the game, but I would like to see them play about half, maybe into the third quarter, regardless of the score. We talked about this on the Pinto and White Shadow Show podcast, which you can find at kfgo.com. Brad Jones and I both agreed that they probably will play most of the game because this is a conference game. This team really wants to go undefeated throughout the regular season, something they haven't done in their careers as seniors, and there's 24 of those seniors. But I just feel that you want to avoid injury, and I get that it goes against everything a coach has taught about finishing out a season strong, finishing out a game strong, but you still have the playoffs coming up, and those are guaranteed. You want to avoid injury? Just take these guys out early. The third point I want to make is the emotions of this game. Now, this is not going to be the last home game of the year for the seniors, 24 of them on the NDSU roster. They'll most likely get every single playoff game at home this year, but it's still emotional for those guys who don't get a chance to play. A guy I think about, Derek Lang, backup running back, third string running back, guy who walked on and has watched players like John Crockett, Sam Ojuri, DJ McNorton run all up and down the field, and he's bided his time. He's been a guy that has been a consummate professional, I suppose you could say, a great team guy in the locker room. And Derek Lang, to me, kind of epitomizes what senior day is all about. Those guys who give it all for very little return on the field, but show up to practice every day, show up to every game, and are ready to go at a moment's notice. And speaking of Derek Lang, he is my X factor for this game. Because the guy has put in his time at NDSU, and this is probably the last opportunity, he's going to get a chance to see a majority of the snaps in a regular season game. I think he gets about 12 to 15 carries in this game, has a touchdown, maybe 2. But I think we're going to see Derek Lang. I think he's going to have a very good game. And I think with those emotions and with this being the last regular season game, that's something you can look for as the X factor in Saturday's game against the University of South Dakota. Finally, my prediction. I don't think this one's going to be too tough. I think NDSU is going to come out win this one 38-17. With that, NDSU completes the perfect regular season, something they haven't done with these seniors, and the first time they've done it in a very long time. And they go into the playoffs with a 1-week bye and some momentum with 3 possible home playoff games to come. So, for Pinto's Preview here on 740thefan.com and kfgo.com, I'm Daniel Gunderson.